Listen up or run for cover. Dropping knowledge from the people who have it to the people who need it. The real Brad Lee Bombs is dropping
What it is, Brad Lee back again with another episode of Dropping Bombs. Today, folks, in the studio, do I have a real treat for you? Cyrus Parsa, what's happening?
Everything's happening. A lot of bombs dropped past couple of days.
Man, thanks for coming. Listen, folks, if you guys haven't heard about this dude yet, you probably aren't even on Twitter. He dropped the bombs, it's going viral. Ultimately, this should sum up why he's here and what we're going to talk about. Number one, he wrote 2 books so far. One is called Artificial Intelligence, Dangers to Humanity. Basically, what's that mean? All the AI we're hearing about. Then AI trumped China and the weaponization of robotics with 5G. Basically, you've done 20 years of hidden research and development with Network 1,000 of Chinese and Westerners. You're basically an expert in China-Iran affairs and consultant on human organ trafficking, anti-terrorism, vulnerability, risk assessment, and emerging threats to governments, agencies, people, and organizations. You warned, I'm reading this, you warned of the coronavirus, China, and every major technological and geopolitical aspect transpiring in the pandemic lockdown. Is that right?
That is right.
Now, I can go back and read these books. You wrote them way before what's happening, and what is happening, you said.
Let me give you a timeline real quick. So, I was born in Iran. We were not Muslim, so we left the country in 1987, lived in Europe, and then East Coast for about 7 years. Illinois, about 10 years. I've been in California for about 16 years.
Okay.
I lived in China with fighting Wudang monks for about a year.
Fighting what?
Fighting Wudang monks.
Why were you fighting monks?
It's a good time.
Oh, you mean like practicing fighting? Training.
I trained with them. So we studied Bagua, Xingyi, Baji, and combat Tai Chi styles, and Pigua. So it's all internal things with meditation. Moved out to California in 2002. I wrote a book called Better People, Better World, and nobody took me seriously. Who are you to say all these things? You don't have a degree. So I got a bachelor's in international security and conflict resolution, minors in Chinese. And then I got a master's degree in Homeland Security. I'm the nation's first top 100 graduates in that program.
So if I said ni hao ma,
Wo hao and hao,
kon bon wa,
that's Hong Kongese.
Oh.
So I speak Mandarin, Putonghua.
Putonghua.
So, day.
All right, keep going, dude.
And in a doctoral program, they were promoting pedophilia, and they were very hateful towards the Constitution. What makes
Who is?
The doctoral program that I was in. They're a Marxist. So
hey, and we need you to speak up. Now, hopefully you won't get suicided after this episode.
No. Well, I'm going to say some things that you're going to think I should have been suicided a year ago. So
yeah, but we don't want you suicided, but we definitely want to hear you. You see this? I sound like Barry White in them headphones, don't I?
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Get up on there.
All right. So it didn't work out, left the program. And I formed Loyal Guardian Security in 2017.
Okay.
I've focused on China and Iran and socialism, the threats to this country. In 2018, I formed the AI organization, and its mission is to protect humanity by providing intelligence for the threats of artificial intelligence, 5G, robotics, cybernetics, and anything related to China and our big tech companies. Of course, facial recognition, voice, these kind of things include, and transhumanism.
Yeah.
I saw
transhumanism.
Yes.
Let's come back to that.
Yes. So I saw big threats that were coming. And through my intel, I got information that the Chinese government, the CCP, they were working on poison delivery systems. So
Who was?
People in China.
They were working on
poison delivery systems.
Poison delivery systems.
I coined something called microbiotic terrorism. So microbiotic terrorism covers nanoparticles, viruses, and microdrones. So the WIS Institute out of Boston, they create a little robo bees. So they replace bees.
Now again, I've heard about it. I'd love to see one.
You can look it up on their website.
I know. I've heard about it. But like, I haven't seen one. Like, if I see a little ass bee this big and it's a mechanical drone with the ability to slam into me and blow a hole in my heart, dude, that's some scary shit.
Well, that's them. Then you have Draper. Draper, they created about 10 years ago a dragonfly, a cybernetic enhanced dragonfly. So they take a dragonfly, embed in a spinal cord, a machine apparatus with battery, so they can control its flight. The Chinese, through the force tech transfer and their
Through the what transfer?
Force tech transfer, all the stealing they've been doing, they start working on these things in China, but putting poison on them. So I think it was about 15 months ago, I delivered a brief to the Secret Service that went to the White House, and it's in that book and the Trump contact. I won't say what it is or who it is. And this is about 15 months ago, that if within 1 year and 2 years max.
The only reason I'm laughing is because, dude, you're either like freaking full on loony,
right,
or, dude, you're hitting it right on the balls. And that's what's funny is a lot of people will think and hear this and be like, dude, this guy's a quack. Like, are you crazy? And then there's people right now going, oh my God, this is serious, because there's a lot of woke people.
Right.
You're basically lining up with the Q movement and shit like that. Correct?
Negative. So everything I've done is documented in writing. So
yeah, because I can go read these books or the shit you wrote before, and you're pegging what's happening right now. Mm-hmm. So that'll give you instant. Yeah, but that gives you instant credibility. So if anybody's questioning my man Cyrus, all you do is go get his books, and if he's talking exact shit that's going on right now, well, then obviously the rest of it you can just assume is fact, or at least highly likely.
Well, and the lawsuit. We'll talk about that.
I know, but like, there's so much to talk about. I just want to make sure nothing gets left behind, because we were talking earlier. I shouldn't even have talked to you, because now I'm going to interrupt you so you don't forget what shit you said in there. But keep going.
So the brief is addressed to President Trump, Vice President Pence, and Secretary of State Pompeo, and Director of the Secret Service, and one person I won't name. And
why won't you name him?
Because I don't want to give trouble to some people.
Is it a him or a her?
They have she and him nowadays, right? Or it's, or you're up top to you. So,
keep going.
Tough crowd. All right. Well, the brief was that if China and big tech are not reeled in within 1 year, maximum 2 years, all the world's citizens are in danger of enslavement or worse. And it's
If what?
If they're not reeled in within 1 year, maximum 2 years.
Yeah, so in other words, if this shit don't end in the next year or two, we're all enslaved.
Enslaved or exterminated through basically, pull up page 252 on artificial intelligence and humanity. Pull up
252.
Pull that up and look in that paragraph. What does that say about?
Allow me to introduce myself.
Okay.
252.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I love referencing.
And I only left a little bit in there because the other stuff was for the Secret Service, so I can't reveal what that is. That belongs to
252.
Yes.
Here I am.
On top.
Yep. Would you like me to read it?
Go ahead.
To put poison delivery systems, there's a half a sentence.
That's fine.
Let me start on this page. Hold your horses. In 2018, I formed the AI.
We already went over that. I would just go with that. I want to make a point.
To put poison delivery systems on them.
Right.
They were weaponizing AI with data extracted from their Google relationship and many other Western AI, robotic, and biometric companies that allowed access to over 6 billion people's biometric data, or data, depending on where you're from. These techniques that can enable them to assassinate individuals in Congress or at the presidential level were all stolen from Draper and the Wyss Institute at Harvard. More?
More. A little bit more.
Dude, I devised a covert plan to pass on to President Trump the threat to him, his family, and the world and all of humanity from China and some big tech AI companies. End robotics with 5G implementation. After JFK and Abraham Lincoln assassination and the shooting of Reagan, I was not going to take this lightly. Damn, dude. People are going to want the book automatically. Where do you get the book? You get the book called Artificial Intelligence, Dangers to Humanity. Cyrus Parsa. Go read it.
You can get it on Amazon or on my website and download it. Basically, in that book, I think maybe in the beginning parts of it, I talk about how China is mixing animals and humans, and it can turn into a disease and spread everywhere. So the entire book is almost like telling you a story that a virus hits from China. Then the 5G comes in, then machines come in, drones come in, facial recognition, and then communism. There's actually, I have pictures in there of Marx and how it causes chaos. And it's like I really had a time machine in there. But let me explain how I got to that. So,
because John Trump, and he took over Tesla's work. And he found little wormholes. That's how we all know what's happening. Or not we, but the right people.
So I've done 20 years of certain types of meditation. And in 2002, I had a vision. And this is maybe hard to believe, but I've said this in other interviews.
When did you write this book?
That was published October 20th, 2019.
Okay.
And that went to President Trump and his team. That was delivered in the latter parts of
Dude, this hit like December, January, February of 20. So like you're right there, right before it all.
Well, when I told the Secret Service, it was spring 2019. I realized they didn't want to talk to me directly. Okay, I realized because I have an Iranian background. Who is he saying all these things, right? They try to handle it, and they didn't tell Trump the way they should have. So I gave to the former director of CIA cover-ups. It was 3 presidents in the summer, about June 15th, and he was connected to the White House. 62-page report, and included 41 Chinese companies, and almost all of them were banned by the Trump administration a few months later. And in there was China threatens all the world's citizens with AI, bioweapons, 5G, robotics, all these different things.
By creating microbots with facial recognition that buzz around and kill who they want, when they want, on site.
That was only part of it. Nanoparticles and all different bioweapons, so it's invisible.
Nanoparticles injected in COVID vaccines that then mutate with our own DNA and literally change our DNA so we're no longer human. Is that transhuman?
That's in the book before it happened. Like I had a time machine. So I give it to him, and he flies down to see me in California, and he takes it to the military.
Is this still the dream? Who did?
No, this ain't the dream. This is real. So,
who flew down?
Former director of CIA cover-ups, who was 3 presidents.
All right.
Flew down, saw me, and he says, Cyrus, the most genius thing he's ever seen. It's going to change the world. He's going to take to the military. I said to him, well,
was he suicided?
I don't know. I haven't checked. I have his number. I haven't called him. And he didn't cite me. So I asked him why he didn't cite me. So I wanted to protect you. I said, okay. So I wait, and I realize he's not going to be able to handle it, and the military is not going to understand what's coming. So, and I didn't tell him what I did with President Trump's context. So I published AI Trump China and the Weaponization of Robotics 5G. And in there, if you look on Amazon, the beginning, it says China and big tech threaten all the world's citizens. Just in the synopsis. Right away, I had people that are in Homeland Security that I know dispatch it to the CIA, high up, that went to the White House. And then President Trump was sitting down 2 weeks later. He was sitting down with the Prime Minister of Australia. And he asked him, you do robotics too, right? You see?
Yep.
And then he says, China threatens all the world's citizens. Exactly from that, my report to the CIA Cover Director and my report to Secret Service. But I realized they still don't get it 100%. So then I'm tweeting everywhere, asking media to pick me up.
Well, you just got a tweet like 300,000 tweets or views, it's getting some pickup.
It's getting pickup now. I mean, all the world's generals know me. The world's leaders know me. What I did recently with that sex bomb thing. We'll get to that quickly. But
folks, is this a good live? Is this a good freaking dropping bombs episode? Who brings it to you, kids? Who brings it to you? Okay. Go.
Dropping bombs.
Hey, look, I'm just going to give one for the whole episode so we don't have to interrupt anymore.
And I am from Iran too, right?
That's right.
That's right.
You know Patrick Bet David?
Negative.
He always tells his story in his stories. He's from Iran.
He's from Iran.
My brother and father were from Iran. We were driving across a bridge. A bomb was exploding 5 feet behind us. My dad says, "Don't turn around, Patrick." It's like, damn, dude, that's heavy duty. So, keep going.
I'm asking everybody to pick me up. I take that book. I wrote it in a way that only really smart people can understand, the AI Trump, because I coded it with language and I didn't include the company names. Media people are really smart. They try to make money off it and take it to President Trump, but they didn't know how it already gotten. So, and then they silenced me. So,
how'd they silence you?
They use proxies. So basically, they use people that they have contacts with, but they don't let them know. And then they pull in like, hey, look at this, and divert their intention. And then those people will do it to other people in a chain of reaction, and they don't know. And the people who were doing it to were actually Chinese behind the scenes, and they were controlling Americans to...
You think everyone should delete TikTok?
I have a tweet that went viral with 200,000 views about last week about TikTok and sex.
Do you think everybody should take TikTok off their phone?
That's in my book.
Yes or no?
Yes, it's in my book. It's a danger.
All right. We don't need your book just to find that out, hopefully.
Credibility. So I investigated 500 companies that were Chinese and 600 Western. So October 20th, I published that book, and that goes to the highest levels.
Sounds like it. Holy shees.
Then no outlet would pick me up.
Who will?
No outlet would pick me up until one outlet said yes. They were about to run me, that all the world's citizens are in danger with AI, bioweapons, all these kind of things.
Well, it sounds like we're in big danger unless they rein it in. And by the way, how do they rein it in if it's the billionaires and the elite that don't want us here? Because let me tell you something. If you own media, you own social media, and you own e-commerce, basically. Because Amazon, Jeff Bezos,
right,
he owns shopping. Zuckerberg owns communication with the Twitter guys and the Google guys, and they're all together, right? And so now they own all that. And then Hollywood, right? You heard of Project Mockingbird, I'm sure.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, Hollywood, all the movies and shit, conditioning and subliminal and all that, supposedly, again, I'm always saying supposedly, because, man, I don't know, and I'll admit I don't know. But it sounds pretty suspicious, I can tell you that. But Hollywood, they own. TV, media, they own. Social media, they own.
Right.
How does anybody communicate? If without them, there is no communication. We literally allowed a certain amount of people to own e-commerce communication.
Right. That's social.
The media owns the narrative. They can make all the sheep people believe anything they say. Like they could literally put out a false story and make all the news channels say it. And I'm telling you, dude, most of the people, especially in this country, would fall for it. They'd just believe it because the media said. I can't believe how many times I've heard people say, dude, it's on the news. Like, oh, it's on the news. That must make it true. Like I saw on the news that there were lines around the block to get tested, and hospitals were packed. Well, I drove to all the hospitals and test in Vegas when I heard that because I had nothing to do. We shut this place down.
Right.
There was nobody at any of them. And then I started seeing other people doing the same thing, and it's like, wait a minute. And then that's when like the bullshit started. Do you think COVID's a cover up with its harmless cover up, or do you think, oh, there's another bioweapon coming soon? Because that's what Bill Gates keeps saying when they go, oh, they'll pay attention to the second wave, like all creepy and shit. It's like, dude, what second wave of COVID? It's getting less and less deadly every freaking day.
Here's my opinion on any COVID or any plague or not. In the past, civilizations, people were strong. Even if there was a plague and 25% died, they didn't stop commerce. They didn't stop making food. And they didn't make people not come out of their homes. This is a free country.
They did in the Spanish flu.
Well, they didn't have our Constitution. We have our Constitution. It says it comes from God. And even if you don't believe that, it's a law. Okay, it stems from Thomas Jefferson, even back to Cyrus the Great, the Xenophon, the Greeks. So nobody can bypass that. You can't be forced to do something. That means that you're surpassing subverting the Constitution if you're doing that.
Yeah, but listen, here's the scary part about that, Cyrus.
Right.
If all of the judges and politicians and lawmakers and police chiefs and sheriffs and FBI agents and law enforcement and military say different, then it's different.
You have a point there. But here's the thing. In terms of this virus, in China, it was deadly for a lot of people. And because it's actually programmed and designed in a certain way to take out the Asian population. That was my discovery back in the day, and it mutated there. So here, it didn't hit us. And when it hit people, when it hit, like, let's say, a white person or Western people, and it was strong, they just feel like it was a flu. Or they just cough for like 2 seconds, it's gone. Or some people, they're immune to it, nothing happens. But in China, it affected them big time. Because why would a communist nation that loves money shut down everything and crash their economy and coop people up everywhere, unless they were covering up something really big? So they were dying. A lot of people were dying over there. But in America, that didn't happen. Everyone in their homes like a little mouse, like there was an exterminator looking for them. You see? So whatever the virus may be, how potent it may be, we do have a constitution. But you got a point. But we have President Trump that's in power, but he's getting a lot of pressure. Here's the thing. The tech people, they don't have the guns. The guns belong to the conservatives. And they're just sitting back watching. But yes. But there
you go. See, that's why they want to get rid of the guns.
Yes, but
That's why. Listen, when the world began, or the United States, there was like 3 felonies, right? You couldn't steal someone's horse; that was a federal crime. You couldn't steal someone's cattle. You couldn't counterfeit money, and you couldn't murder. Right. Those were the 3 main things. Everything else was, the state will handle it. Now there's thousands of federal laws. Some that people don't even know they're breaking. But when you get caught breaking one, they make you a felon. Felons lose their Second Amendment. So again, they're basically trying to disarm people.
I think I'm not a felon, so put my gun over here.
I told you the rules for firearms in this building is if you hear a commotion, you gotta come running. Yeah, like if you're carrying and you hear a commotion.
Right.
By the way, you're carrying legally. Okay, anybody can come in here carrying. I like when people carry. Why? Because assuming legally, well then they know how to handle the weapon and they know what the weapons are for. So should any environment spring up that calls for a weapon, I want like everybody armed and around. But you got to come if there's a commotion. That's the only rule.
Yes.
You can't have a gun and run is basically what I'm saying. Like you got a gun, you get your ass over here, you see something going down.
But let me drop another bomb. The big tech companies, they've prepared a lot of robots and machines in the 5G network.
Have you seen any?
Yes. So Boston Dynamics, one of the companies I put in there. And they're showing you advanced technology, but our military and our big tech companies like Google, behind the scenes, they have a lot of robots that they're building. And that's going to go out in the 5G network. It's going to come to your homes to deliver food and take care of your family.
Sure.
So what is your gun? What is it going to do?
You ain't here to kill me, I hope.
No.
This would be a good fucking setup.
What is this gun going to do against a robot or a drone that
Nothing.
That's what I'm telling you. Every QAnon or every person that's
that thing
in the
ain't
military,
loaded, is it?
It's on safety.
Dude, you got to set that thing down.
So, everybody, you want to hit the bomb?
No.
Okay.
Hey, I want to keep my eye on the weapon.
Okay.
Okay. Now that it's safely pointed away, only touch it if there's commotion.
It's not chambered.
All right, good. You just chambered it.
Well, I chambered it, put it away, of course.
Dude, like this could be like, holy shit, dude, this dude's been following me. He hates me. And, he was going to kill me on dropping bombs.
Yeah, the CEO of the AI organization.
Yeah, but see, that's why I let people carry here. There's 3 people out there where if you started shooting at me, I'd duck. Hopefully you didn't get me, and then you'd get shot before.
And there's no robots here, right?
There's no robots.
And no drones.
But dude, listen, the robots are scary because let me tell you something. You're exactly right, dude. The guns don't do shit with fucking drones this big that have poison tips. And not only that, I've heard of ones that they'll just fly it into you and, it'll explode because it's got like little baby C4 pouches on it. And it literally will blow a hole in you this big. So it's like if I got a little bee this big and I can fly it through a mall and hit somebody in the head from my car with a camera, holy shit, dude, your guns are worthless.
Have you seen those dogs that they have at Boston Dynamics?
No.
Okay. They have dogs that are come out that's going to do work for you. And they've made cheetah robots as well. They actually
where do people look these up?
It's in my book.
Yeah, but do you have pictures and shit?
Yeah, I do. People have been trained in this country, have been programmed to watch videos and tweet. I'm tweeting, by the way, and do all these social media and not read books. They've been programmed. 4,000 books I sold. That could have saved the world trillions of dollars, saved a lot of lives. And people wouldn't read that book, right? Think about it. That's what I'm saying. Everybody read that book. But somebody writes a book about Trump a few days ago, sold 95,000 copies in one day, saying Trump is bad. I write a book that says, hey, you could have saved everything by just following these process, and here's the dangers, and you sell 4,000 copies in an entire year. Think about that.
Should we clip the live so it doesn't? So they have to download the episode. What does the live think? Take a little poll. Okay, so basically, what your book says, just on simple one page, is there's scary ass people making some serious artificial intelligence based robotic technology that will take you out in 5 seconds. And if we don't get a handle on it soon, we literally will become an enslaved population by the whomever owns this technology. Because again, police, military, doesn't matter.
Amazon's got the drones, and they have the actual delivery robots that come to your home. Boston Dynamics has dog robots that have human robots that actually do backflips, and they can run after you. They've got cheetah robots at MIT that can do swarm technology. Buy 10 of them, and they can chase you. You just put a teeth on it. What are you going to do? You're shooting at little robots coming at you. So you have robots, drones. Then you have the micro drones, right? So then you have poison delivery systems. And you have the 5G network, which mobilizes the social media. So I have an article and a video called...
Is that why the 5G network is rolling out?
Yes. So I have videos and articles. Is 5G made for humans or machines? And the answer...
Dang, look at this. I bet you all the people on there that are into this shit are going, holy shit. Dude, 5Gs, is it made for the humans or the machines?
Right. So 5G... Yes. 5G is made for machines.
Listen up.
Powered by artificial intelligence. It's not made for human beings. These millimeter waves, they not only hit your skin receptors and hurt your nervous system and give you net radiation, but I coined something called biodigital social programming. So bio is your biology, like your cells, your DNA, your blood, your skin receptors. And digital is your neural networks, your nervous system, or your electrical field, or if you believe in a faith, your soul. Your spirit or consciousness. It's very Gnostic or atheist will have a digital image. So biodigital. Social is your emotions, your social media like Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, whatever it may be, or your social network. Programming is programming. The entire human race on the 4G network was being biodigitally social programmed to be prepared for the 5G network. That means all their thoughts are controlled. So I have an article and a video from months ago called People Programmed to Attack Trump with AI, smartphones, Google, and social media. And I put three elementary components in it. The first one is innate bias, which means you just don't like him, and you put articles on Google, you put posts on social media, and it affects the entire system. And also the AI coding algorithms are affected that way as well. The second level is innate engineered bias against President Trump. Comes from special ops, comes from Chinese 50 centers, 1,000 plan systems, and also CNN, all these different think tanks and source foundations. They purposely do AI coding algorithms designed to take out the Constitution and President Trump under the platform of Marxism. That's the second level. But what finished people off, and I have a lot of videos going back 6 months, is these smartphones. The third level is the proximity sensors. Every smartphone has this proximity sensor. It feels your heartbeat. It knows what it is. It knows your menstrual cycle, but it does more than that. It connects with your electrical field because you have electrical field, and this has electrical field. But when that happens, it extracts your information, even the way your brain is.
Then why do they make you wear the sensors?
It's all let me just finish this. It's all interconnected. By this happening, it pulls the way your brain is formed. It gives it back to Google. Google sends it to the deep mind, so they can create it for the quantum AI super intelligence system brain. But that's the extraction process. 6 billion people's information. But what it's doing is more.
How do I get on their side? Because it sounds like we're all screwed.
That's where Elon Musk comes in. So on the 5G...
Well, he's heading for Mars because he knows more than everybody else.
Yeah, he's heading for Mars, but who's pulling his chain? That's the thing. So on this 5G network, when you read stuff that says Trump bad, that AI app, AI system, and that information connects with your electrical system and your neural networks. When you go to bed, it cycles in your brain and completely transforms and alters your brain chemistry. So you get conditions after a few days or a few weeks, depending on how your nervous system works and your neural networks, and if you're way on the far right or in the middle or left, you become programmed. So on the 5G network, because it's made for machines, not human beings, the speed of this, the millimeter waves, is so fast that the entire human race can be moved like cattle without them realizing it, because it biodigitally social programs your entire being. from your cells, your blood, your DNA, and the vaccines come in, then your neural networks and your nervous system and your electrical field, and then it connects to your social media. So with Twitter, Instagram, even Parler, whatever it is, so the entire human race becomes a hive mind and controlled with this. Then it goes back to Google, all these technologies, and you say, what's wrong with that? The Pentagon wants to create an artificial super or general intelligence. Well, there's 3 levels of artificial intelligence. First one is artificial narrow intelligence, covers your smartphones, your IoTs, and all these different Internet of Things, Alexa, and so on. The second level is AGI, artificial general intelligence. That's something like what Hanson Robotics is working on. They can make a robot or an AI system alive, have freeform thinking, thus maybe have jealousy or competitive nature. Artificial superintelligence, many ways to get to it. One is to extract the entire human race's data and the way their brain is formed. Elon Musk said we are 2-digit cyborgs because he knows it's connected to you. But I say no, this is a parasitical system. It's parasiting off the human race with its technology. It's controlling you and extracting your data. So once this happens, the human brain, because we're all made in the image of the Creator, made in the image of God, that entire powerful, most powerful brain, entire universe gets taken to Google and the Pentagon. They create an artificial superintelligence that can outthink and outmaneuver all people on the planet at the same time, including the director of CIA, the Secret Service, all those military generals. They will become like puppets for the system. So they want to develop this because they want to counter China. They want to go to Mars. They want to create quantum technology that can, go past our solar system. But then you enter the realms of the issues with UFOs and different things, because the 5G system connects the ground to Starlink, and you can see a future with the Jetsons. It's to mobilize machines. This is very, very vast, but getting back to what I wanted to say with that structure, because I want to get to why I was warning. Somebody pulled the article that all the world's people are in danger. So I run a press release with PR Newswire, and that all the world's citizens are in danger from China and big tech, They say your book, Artificial Intelligence to Humanity, is slanders China, big tech. And I go to another route, and I use them from a different channel. I had to revert it, and they approved the book, but it's just, anyway. Then I do another one about Huawei. They said you got to remove Huawei. Then I do one about China. You got to remove China. Then I remove everything. They got to remove everything from the articles. They caused a lot of people to die because that message would have gone to all the senators, all the Congress people, and all the media in the world and all the digital media. But they stopped my message that all the world's citizens are dangerous. So what do? I'm tweeting, and nobody will pick me up. And smart people are just plagiarizing my work, but they can't figure it out. They're trying to build a platform. So I filed a lawsuit on December 16th, and against Google, Facebook, and Neuralink, and I also included Sergey Brin, Larry Page, Elon Musk, but I gave him a way out. I said you have to decouple from China and stop trying to merge humans with machines. And I put the Facebook guy, Zuckerberg, in there. I put the whole race is being programmed, the human race, without their knowledge or free will on this 4G system, and you're threatening all the world's citizens by bringing this technology in. And I put 29 John Does. Everyone got scared when I did that. It became viral throughout the entire world on Twitter. But people kept on taking parts of my lawsuit. It didn't come to me. I didn't have that many followers. All my intelligence community behind me, they're still behind. But everyone is helping me in front. They disappeared. All my money disappeared.
Damn.
So I was going to send the U.S. Marshals after all the John Does, serve them before the virus hit. And all the things happen. So I'm tweeting and start making videos, all the different kind of things, and nobody supports. I get on a few channels right at the end. Then I drop the actual bombs, who were actually John Does. And the John Does was former director CIA cover-ups. Former director of CIA Brennan, and the FBI director, but also Barack Hussein Obama, Clinton, Schiff, Biden, Hunter Biden, MIT, Harvard, Soros Foundation, Rockefellers, the World Bank, and a lot more. CNN, Anderson Cooper. Well, that was my report to CIA cover expert on the Rothschilds, and I showed them what they were doing in China, which companies they reached. So here's the thing: I go to the Secret Service, I give them a general outline, and give them specifics, and they did move because I did an assessment of President Trump's security detail. I realized he can't get shot, but they can get through. And I give them a code language. There's a way from one person to another person, I want to say. So Then I go to see a corporate director, and I give him concrete. His brain works is empirical, right? So here's the company, here's the reach, here's the CEO, here's how much they're making, the capabilities, here's the threat. He loves the report. Then I go in that book, AI Trump, and I give almost like a fictional look to it, right? But it attracts Trump's attention yet again. Then I publish that, and then my people send it to him as big people, but they're trying to fix it in the back end. And no one's talking to me because he's getting incoming from all these Obama and all these people in the deep state. So I put out this lawsuit to the entire world. And if you look at the lawsuit, it says endangering the lives of all the people on the planet with artificial intelligence,
Yeah,
biotechnology.
I saw that.
So that was the warrant. A lot of military.
You can look that up. That's been going around the internet.
Yeah. A lot of people know about that. So,
but you can look it up though. Like again,
you can look it up.
If people are thinking, "Man, this is a little far-fetched,"
no.
Like you can look that up. That's filed.
It's filed 87 page. So I was going to send hundreds of U.S. Marshals to serve them, and then lockdown was approaching, 2 months, and nobody would donate. I asked the world's people in January, please donate, so I can on behalf of the world's people. I got $3,000 from after 4 months from all the world's citizens. So I said your lives are in danger.
That is terrible.
Yeah.
Dude,
So,
listen to this. But that shit's terrible. Like again, if it's got to have some believability. But if the whole world's citizens wouldn't donate to that, what should they be donating to? Things like child trafficking. How come child trafficking? Everybody there should be billions behind that. There should be nobody worried about funding, eliminating child trafficking, eliminating this shit, and doing it. But if people don't believe you, give them 5 things that they can look up like themselves. Google it.
Well, you can Google the lawsuit. The first edition is December 16th, and the second one's February 23rd. 51 pages, not 87 pages. If you look at that and you read my book, Artificial Intelligence and Humanity, you will see I had like a time machine that shows you everything and every person that literally have a time machine. And I can explain to you how I did that. But
how?
Maybe let's go. It takes a half hour because people think I'm a loon. So let's.
Dude, everybody's gonna want you on their show after this. Like, you're gonna start making the rounds. I would bet.
Well, here's the thing.
Have you been on Howard Stern yet?
No, I haven't. So
I'm like a Howard Stern more than anything. Yeah.
So I want to tell you guys, no matter if you're conservative or liberal, I did this on behalf of all the world's citizens. I feel that every person's life is in danger.
And by the way, if you're correct, dude, it is.
Well, it was. You think Trump doesn't know? You think he hasn't been watching my tweets?
Okay, so my question is, let's assume that it is real, because I always do all the analytics all the way around it. So instantly I'll go, okay, it's real. Now what? Well, now I don't see any future. I see serious trouble, because if they have that technology already, right, we're screwed. Now, if they don't have it, they're trying to race to it and they're trying to build it. Well, then we as a people could say, okay, stop with all the bullshit AI, because we don't want it to have anybody to have that kind of power. But then someone sneaks off in a cave and comes out later going, hey, give me $1 billion.
Give me $1 billion, right? So you asked why the world's citizens only give me $3,000 after 3 or 4 months. And then I got an X-22 report, SG2 report, quite frankly, Red Pill 78, and John B. Wells. And that time it got a little bit of attention. And then we had lockdown, then the entire world was talking about the lawsuit. Oh, this is why we're locked down. It even says CV on because the case number starts with CV. What is the coincidence of the world endangering lawsuit that starts with CV? And all the QAnons are like, this is biblical. They're telling me, like, they give me all these behind the scenes props, but they still wouldn't retweet me. Any person that had a big account, and they're not related to Q or President Trump, they still would never retweet me, because they see the stuff that I had, and they're like, "Oh, they want to lose their platform." It's like they're even controlled by themselves.
Well, they lost their platform because Twitter's getting rid of all the Q tweets.
Well, it's not just them; it was the left. Jack Dorsey knows of me. I'm not against the gentleman, and we did scans from our corporation, and even our own employees for 6 months could never see the tweet from me ever. You see that? So
because they can control that shit.
It's not just. I'm not saying he was behind it. What it happens is a Chinese 50 center or somebody does a complaint, and somebody is there and hits a button that changes certain things within your account. That's what they do to a lot of different people. And here's the thing: it's not just the liberals that censored what I was doing. It was conservatives in power because they wanted to make money or fame. So who's at fault here? Do you see what I'm saying? You said the entire media is controlled, right? So I sold most of my assets, my paintings, to file the amended complaint. I did it on the behalf of every single person on the planet. And it had big effects because it softened the impact on the world. And these people on the left that were controlled, they moved in a certain way to counter it. But this virus is really real in China. It's really mutated over there, but it's sophisticated for the Chinese, not for the white people as much. So whatever, even if it's a plague, like President Trump called it a plague, even if it's a plague, I don't agree with all this technocracy or be forced. If you want to do what you like, it's a free country. It's a God-given right to do what you want to do. No one can take that away from you. That's why there can be a civil war. If you look at even my lawsuit and even my report to CIA Copyright Director and in the book, it says that I found division codes. The AI was controlling everybody and getting the left to right to fight each other. So the day before Floyd died, I did a tweet to Jack Dorsey, and it's a video. I kindly respected him and asked him, please don't censor, because I don't want a digital war to go to the streets. The next day, Floyd died, and it went to the streets. How did I know that? How do I know everything ahead of all the Pentagon, CIA, the FBI, Secret Service, and all the world think tanks combined? How did one person...
Time travel.
No.
What?
Well, what did I say to you? I live in Iran, live in China, and I have master degree in Homeland Security. I did martial arts, right? So initially when I was in China, I'd done 15, almost 16 years of martial arts as a little kid. But it was just normal stuff, kicking his punches, you know? So I go in there, and they say, whatever you do, don't bust nuts. So I'm like, don't bust nuts. Okay. I remember Rocky, Mickey said, woman weakened legs. And Tyson said, before he lost the fight to Douglas because he was messing around. So I won't bust nuts. So I start training 16, 18 hours a day. And he says to me, Cyrus, I was Mao Zedong's bodyguard, and the military picked me up because I had Lightfoot training. I could run on water and do all these different kind of things.
Lightfoot training? Like, I want Lightfoot training.
So here's the thing.
What the hell is Lightfoot training?
Basically, there's energy channels in your body, up to 10,000 of them, okay? And after 2 weeks of doing these practices, my Laogong point opened up. Laogong point is the center here that connects, and it goes to your pineal gland all over your body. And when that happened, heat came out of my body, my palm, and I could move. I could even move people from a distance.
And again, I've heard of this.
No, so
there's a guy. There was a guy I was watching a video of that had. Again, this is all meditation type stuff.
Yes.
And they sent news cameras to go check out this guy, and he could basically just wad up a piece of paper, go like this, and it would start on fire.
Yeah. So, 90 days I was there. 3 months, something like that. I trained, didn't bust nuts. Afterwards...
what does didn't bust nuts mean?
You
didn't have sex?
I didn't have ejaculate.
Okay, good. Keep going. How many are on there? How many are on there?
175.
Dude, you're holding 175 people's attention right now on
That's
the live.
it?
Yeah, but when I go live, I only get a couple hundred people. I don't know why. Maybe it's the time, or I'm not that famous. Everyone should be listening to this, though, dude. If I could get you 7.8 million, like, I'll try to get you on my buddies' podcasts that are bigger than mine. And like, frick, you need to be heard. I just want to know, like, where are some frickin' anchor points that someone could go in and see, okay, that's true, that's true, that's true.
Go look at my tweets, everything. Go look at my book, and ask President Trump.
And not only that, dude, I remember before I even knew who you were,
Yeah.
like until you came in here, I really didn't know who you were. I was like, because Jeff started booking things. So it's like Cyrus. And then I look and I'm like, that's interesting topic right there. Yeah, let's book him. And then when you walked in, I look at your tweet, you're getting all retweet, you're getting all viral. And I think to myself, now, dude, first thing, man, if this guy is hitting anything on the head, we're in deep shit. What are we supposed to do here, bro?
If you look at my bio in the book, it says I found extinction codes for the majority of the human race in stages. Not just from the virus, from famines, from conflicts, from enslavement of technocracy. But there's a choice. Why did I file a lawsuit? What's the reasons why the people are in danger? I said that it was 31 complaints, and I put 43 penal codes in there, and that goes back to 1940s.
So did you file that in the state of California?
I did.
Yeah, and it's filed in the state of California.
Here's the thing.
You can look it up. It's public.
Yeah, people said it wouldn't be accepted. It was. They held it for 8 months, but I got $3,000. And after that, so the lockdown, billions of people looking at it, and people were like, "Now we'll support you, Cyrus. You want money?" Like, no, because I don't want a civil war. This was to give the intelligence so everyone can look at it. And people that are generals, top. I was just on one network. He's like, "Yeah, 2 of big Trump generals send me your lawsuit." I was on, I think, what was it called? Just yesterday. It was released on Twitter. God's Glory. So you can watch that episode. He said it to me. And I know. They all know. Now I'm looking at my book and a lawsuit. How the fuck did he have a time machine? So, long story short, I didn't want a civil war. So I didn't serve them at that time. I just backed off because it's too late. We're supposed to.
Dude, this is gonna be the longest episode. I ain't gonna stop. You just keep going.
So I didn't serve them. Now we're back today. You said, what's the issue? If you look at the lawsuit, it's not just endangering the world people and programming them with all technology and cybernetics and transhumanism. And it's not just that. It's complicity in all this genocide in China. So the Falun Dafa practitioners, the Tibetans, the Christians, and the Uyghurs, and the common citizens, for 20 years in China, have been put in camps. They've been raped, tortured, tracked with AI technology, quarantined, and killed for the organs. So
by the Chinese elite?
By the Chinese government, Communist Party. So consider that, and who gave that technology? Who gave the training? Look at the name list I put in there, not just Google. Who were the people? Eric Schmidt. He was there giving them training. And why did I list Obama in there? For 2 reasons. I said that Obama was negligent and was involved in this weaponized technology by approving certain things, right? And later on, they're like, shit, Cyrus is right. It's the first person to say that. I said Biden took $1.5 billion. And when they did this, they knew they had death camps running. When a president comes into an office, he gets a report from the CIA. He looks at some Secret Service files. So he's told that China's had people in camps. Bush knew too, but he got bogged down with the war. And human rights groups came up to Obama and handed him things. Our people were being killed for the organs. What do you do? If your neighbor is getting raped, okay, and butchered, and your other neighbor goes in there and does business with them and they know it and take money from them and look the other way, what does that make your neighbors?
Complicit. Guilty.
What about your other neighbor giving them the weapons to rape and butcher and organ harvest your
Involved. Complicit. Guilty.
Okay. Hence, I put Obama, Biden, Clinton, Pelosi. I also said that they were negligent, but they were hunting President Trump and all this fake stuff or small matters while overlooking China's threats to the entire world. So when President Trump is trying to focus on China to reduce the threat and take him out, the Communist Party, he is getting incoming from Obama, Biden, Pelosi, and the mobilization of all this corruption. You see? And then it's helped by this technocracy of the social media by programming the people underneath them on a platform of socialism. Because this is the indoctrination that people have gotten since the 1940s and 50s. So the socialists took over Russia and China and killed a lot of people, even in Iran's government. But in this country, they couldn't take over. How was it done? It was done through indoctrination of our universities and Hollywood and our media. Once you do that, after a couple of generations, even the people who get into our intelligence community, their brain chemistry, the way their thoughts, it's not aligned with the Constitution and God. It's aligned with technocracy and socialism.
Well, here's my question about shit like that. How old are people that think 50 years into the future? Like, we start doing this now, in 50 years we'll have complete control. Mwah! Like, how old are they that are thinking this, that like pass it on? Like, why is it like taking all this time? Why 2020?
Well, they didn't think it would be 50 years, these socialist communists. They thought it would take maybe 20 years. and they think long term. The Chinese think even longer term. They'll have 100-year plans. Even if they don't live 100 years, they'll say, we're going to do this so in 100 years this happens. They're very clever. I've lived in China. I've been around Chinese for 20 years. They're the most clever people on the planet. Even the nicest ones who are against communists, they're so clever. They'll look at your face, and the facial recognition will be nothing. You can't tell they're lying to you. Or they'll tell you the truth, but it's 10 lies behind it. They can social engineer the best FBI agents, and they'll look so innocent. That's how they are, because they grew up on communism. And that's how they were able to rape everybody in this country. Now, so I put out that tweet, right?
What tweet you put out?
Can you play it? It's 45 seconds.
Sure.
It was
you want me to?
Trump. Yeah.
Dude, are you worried about getting like freaking silenced? Oh no, I'm going live. I think it should be time to cut off the live and we play. I'll play it in a minute. This live's not going to last much longer anyway.
Sure. So
it only goes an hour.
So getting back to your question, why we're in danger? If the entire world is giving technology to China's government in China, and the entire world is being complicit and doing business with them and trading with them, and even your leather. Let's say you have a wallet. It's either comes from slave labor or someone got killed, or even it says cow leather, but it's not. Someone's dog was skinned alive. That's what they do in China, right? So if everyone's complicit in that, and then this AI technology and facial recognition was used to track, hunt, quarantine, kill people in the tens of millions, and I'll put some names out there. David Matus and David Kilgore. I brought them to my doctoral master's program. In 2006, they disclosed that 41,000 transplants were unaccounted for, and the Chinese government says 41,000 organ transplants were unaccounted for, and they had a lot of evidence. And the Chinese government says we only had 3,000 donations. There's no explanation, and this is only the places they found. 2016, they do an update. And in that update, David Matus and David Kilgore, a national human rights lawyer, one is a former Secretary of State of Canada, and they've come visit me in San Diego twice. And they concluded that 60 to 110,000 transplants are unaccounted for every year, per year, since the year 2000.
Where are they going?
The whole world was flying to China, getting hearts, livers, and kidneys with 48-hour wait times. They had advertisements on their website, bring cash from Israel, from the U.S., from Canada, from Africa, from India. The whole world was flying into China. They didn't know people were being chopped up and killed. They just had, they had people in camps. They take their blood samples. I interviewed a lot of people, and one of the guy I interviewed, he says his cellmate was taken out at nighttime, and then he saw like a few hours later he was taken across on a stretcher, and he was dead, but he had a hole in his body. He didn't know why, and he told me that he didn't know why he was blood tested 3 times, and all his friends that didn't get killed were blood tested, and then he got out of the prison later on through different ways. And these David Mason and Kilgore, other people, they interviewed a lot of people from Thailand, from Vietnam, from all around the world to escape China. And they never talked to each other, but had the same story. Their skin was checked, their eyelids were checked, and they were all blood samples. And they weren't kept in the camps, and they said, what was the testing? Oh, we were all sick. I had this and I had this disease. So they didn't keep people in the camps who were sick. Why? Because they couldn't use them to chop up their bodies to sell for $1 million a body. You see? So if that happens to tens of millions of people maybe in 20 years, and you have 1.5 billion people in China, and if we're involved, the whole world's involved, looking the other way. And if you believe in karma or what comes around goes around, what if there is an all-seeing eye that wants to show everybody, hey, this is not okay, and look at all the stuff. Why is the technocracy this way? It's all interconnected.
So how do we stop it?
So I expose the Chinese Communist Party. And, some people who are Christian like the word repent. If you believe in that word, repent for being complicit and looking the other way. And if you don't like that word, maybe we can all deep in our hearts look and say, why were we complicit, and ask for forgiveness and try from all our hearts, say, expose the Chinese Communist Party.
Well, when you say that, a normal person like me, I mean, I don't even know what you mean. Expose them. How?
So you can't go over there and take them out militarily.
Yeah, we can't do anything.
Right.
Like, John Muir Sebastian, they can't do anything.
But if
people listening, unless we all did it collectively together, which is damn near impossible, it's not going to do anything with a powerful evil of that magnitude.
Well, Trump's and his team, they're taking this on. So the whole world needs to understand.
Well, then we just need to support Trump.
That's what I'm saying. On that book at the end, you don't see it on the paperback, but on the digital one.
So Trump and everybody. Now listen, what you're saying is, Trump and the current administration is fully aware, and they're fighting against it. And then all these leftists are coming at them.
100%.
And all this is to distract those people from taking out this sinister plan of controlling everybody through robotic 5G AI shit. Now that's believable.
Yes.
Again,
Yes.
because now it explains that explains a bunch of things.
Well.
But
they didn't know. Trump's administration, they didn't know about this stuff. I brought it to them. They never saw the big picture.
But I'm going to act like I'm the president.
Right.
You seem like an intelligent dude. You seem like you've done some research. You have big words. But I might go, dude, is this guy like, did you read too much science fiction? Or are there like little drone bees in existence that people are aware of? Like, again, show me a little drone bee. Like, most people would say, yeah, I've heard about those. Like me, I've heard about those. I've never seen one.
Look up the Draper's website. It's on there right now.
I know, but if they really have this shit, then that adds more and more credibility to what you're saying. And if what you're saying is real, bro.
Yes.
And the current administration is aware of it.
They are now.
All we can do, because that's way beyond the average citizen.
Right.
All we can do is either come together as one, which is almost impossible, unfortunately.
Right.
We're not smart enough for that. But that's the answer. Because they can't stop us all, but we'd all have to be one. And that's why you say civil war, because there's going to be people that are AI, they're going to be controlled. They're going to be believing the mainstream narrative. But there's going to be some people that are like, bullshit, this is against the Constitution. They're going to fight, and it's going to be nasty, right? So as people just listening to this, when you say expose the communist China, dude, there's nothing they can do. All they can do is support Trump. Is that what you're saying?
No, that's for sure. Support Trump. But the left needs to understand what's happening in China. Once they understand what's happened, they'll stop attacking Trump.
Are they not aware of it? The left?
Most of them aren't.
So why don't you appeal your message to the left? Because a lot of the people that I know on the right definitely would believe everything you're saying without even proof. Like they want to hear, to believe something.
If I
like
can
that.
have a platform with the left and I can explain in detail which company and show facts, because I give you the macro picture in this talk that we had. But I'm going to let you keep that book.
All right.
And Artificial Intelligence and Humanity.
Shit, I'll pay you for it. Like,
no.
I got to read it now.
And you read that. It's like 3 or 4 hours.
So I'm going to want you to sign it. Because, dude, if this all plays out in the end, dude, you're going to be like a freaking national hero, a world hero.
Look, that wasn't my intention.
So what? It'll be what happens.
It played huge things around the world. Globally, it impacted the entire world. It did in a huge way. Why did I release the lawsuit? Because the entire world got to look at it. All the senators, all of the major presidents, they read that. And when you sue Obama and all these big tech, you think they're not going to go and then read your book? Of course they are. And I warned Elon Musk.
Well, aren't you worried about being silenced?
No, because I did it on the behalf of the left as well. They have to understand. You people on the left and you big tech leaders, I don't mean to hurt you, and I don't mean to point at you. I just want you to understand that what's happening, that it's endangering all the world's citizens. It's endangering everybody. So
including them.
So everybody. So I put out another video because no one would put me on their show, and I put out a movie called AI: The Plan to Invade Humanity. I tweeted to President Trump and the cabinet, and a bunch of his generals. Within 3 days, they released their first UFO file. So I also mobilized that, and you can go look at my tweet. It's on there. It's a 58-minute video, and it only has 200,000 views, but that mobilized so many things. So not only that,
you said people won't have you on the show. Are they afraid of their show getting canceled?
Well, because there's people who control people behind the scenes. So like Alex Jones had me on, and Owen Shore, right? 4 times, and AJ had me on. But then behind the scenes, somebody goes and gives carrots to them to deflect them. And then a few key.
Well, if someone offers me $1 million, I will not post this clip, and I'm sure you'll understand.
No.
So, folks, if you really against me releasing this, that's why it went live. It's too late. It's out there. The rest of the episode, though, which is going to be even the best part, $1,000,000, I won't drop it. No, I'm just joking. You know why? Because if it's true, bro,
Everything
we
else is true.
we owe it to the world to not be complicit, to not look the other way.
Yes.
The question is, if people don't believe it, they're not going to do anything. So right now, I bet you the majority would be doing something, dude. There's a lot of good people in the world that would do something. The problem is they're not quite sure they believe all of this stuff.
Trump believes it 100%. Trump and his team now know it. They saw everything I called was on point. Any person that researches my tweets and researches my books and sees what's happening in the world, it's like literally it's being mirrored. Even I warned about the monuments coming down because I did an assessment last year. And a few days before it happened, I tweeted to President Trump and generals, send the military to protect the monuments. And then 3 days later, the monuments. It's on my Twitter. So how do I know these things ahead of time?
Time travel.
No, it's not time travel. So in 2002, I came back, and then I've done 18 years of certain practice. And I came to your show very, very tired. I think I slept maybe a few hours the past 7 days. So energetically, I'm a little tired. I'm not all 100% there. But
well, we can have you back for a second show.
Yeah, but I brought this gun because, I dropped that sex tape comment that got viral and it's all over China and they're using WeChat. And then what happens afterwards? Think about what happened to the embassies. Look at my tweet. It says
well, where are the sex tapes?
I don't know. If you look up, I'm sure they're online somewhere.
Every time I hear about sex tapes, you go and you never can find them. Like, Kim Kardashian's was there. I saw that one in Paris Hilton's. Wow. But I've never seen high level Pizzagate, sinister videvideos. Like, where are they? Where do you find them?
What I said in that tweet, and I can play it right now so you can actually hear it. That'd be great. How's that? Here we go. President Trump, please ask William Barr to subpoena the China sex tapes of our corrupt politicians and corporate leaders' visits the past three administrations to mainland China, Hong Kong, Macau, Thailand, and this island everyone is talking about. I'm wondering why these people are so quiet on CCP's crimes against humanity. Does it have anything to do with these sex tapes, the $1.5 billion and the like? Where is Dr. Fauci when they needed him the most? When the bras came off and the underwear came off, so did their masks. Let me know if you need my help to drop the list. After all, we are the AI organization. And that was addressed to President Trump, FBI, Washington, CIA, Justice Department, GOP, Democrats, Office of Government Ethics, Judicial Watch, CNN, New York Times, Washington Post, MSNBC, CNBC, ABC, AP, Wall Street Journal, Fox News, White House, State Department, House Foreign Affairs, POTUS, WHO, UN, WTO, and EU Commission. And I had a follow-up tweet. I retweeted it with a comment. WHO, UN, WTO, China sex tapes. Make viral many islands, not just Epstein. That was it. And a lot of people took that and put it on their Twitter as well. They extract the video. So it's not just the 300,000 views you see here. In China, it's gone viral.
Well, dude, just listening to this,
yeah.
If I were you, if there's any truth, and I'm not saying there isn't, but if there is any truth to all this, guess what? I'd be afraid. No wonder you got a gun with you. No, because, dude, listen, that evil shit, they're looking for you and they'll find you. But guess what? That's why we should all end up commending you, because you're putting your life in peril or risking your safety.
I just recommend everyone watch Home Alone 2.
He's saying he's crafty. Now, if anything should happen to you, like you get suicided, are there any hidden, releasable documents where it spreads, like factual proof of anything gets put anywhere?
Home Alone 2.
Oh, Cyrus, dude, you're a freaking cool dude. All right, well, let me ask you now. Elon, you brought up Elon, and you said, "Yeah, that sucker. I'll get to him later." What were you going to say?
So when I released with Elon. I wanted his help. He was the only person in the lawsuit I said, if you just stop doing business in China, we don't want anything from you. I didn't want the guy hurt. And President Trump said he went to Davos with him, and in public he said, "Oh, we got to protect Elon." That's why I did a video, an article, say, "Hey, we're backing off Elon," but at the same time he's endangering everybody in different ways. He wants to do business with China. He did a retweet to follow up on my stuff, but it didn't retweet me. He just made a joke. He put a black gentleman holding the phone. You can look at his tweet. And in 2009, this is a smartphone. Wow. And then there's another one on top, 2019. Look in here. It ruins the world, because he read my lawsuit. And it says how the smartphone is controlling everyone's brains. And then the 5G network does this. And then when I redid the amended complaint, I actually put the butter. I put the cream on the butter, everything, with the players and how it's interconnected. But I only list the left, because they were the last to mess up. But I put defendants unlimited.
Damn, that includes me.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So we shouldn't follow up with the lawsuit in that sense. It includes everybody in a sense. What I would try, look, I did all.
You're trying to share. You're trying to get some attention because you can't get any with the media being owned.
If we would have saved the world trillions of dollars, and all these things it would have happened in a different way, because the threat was from China. All we had to do is expose them and stop being complicit.
I know, but it's over now. It happened. So what do we do now?
It's still the same thing. Because here's the thing. It's like you look at. I'll give you an example. Do you remember the movie Lord of the Rings? You said I've watched some sci-fi. I've watched maybe 10 of them. Lord of the Rings I watched back in 01 or 02. I don't recall. Or 2003. The Saruman guy. So if you're going to get this guy and that guy, there'll always be a guy you got to get. There'll always got to be a problem. The problem, you have to go to the root. The problem is the Chinese Communist Party. They've embedded themselves in our big tech companies. They started controlling them and our senators. Why did I put the sex tape thing?
Why?
Well, I recommend everyone watch that and see who asked me to. I'll take it to president.
But I assume by your insinuation that senators and governors are caught having sex with people on some sort of tape. And the question is what people? Are they children? Which is the big thing.
It's not. I put. I'm not going to say much. I said
You said look up the sex tapes.
I said politician. No, I asked President Trump, if you need the help to drop the list, let me know. That's what I said. And
what about Julian Assange?
You're asking me to give you a list, right?
No, but doesn't he have lists? Doesn't he have hidden emails and WikiLeaks and all that?
I don't know. I never researched a gentleman to see what he has.
Have you ever? He's very political. Have you ever been on WikiLeaks?
No, I have not.
Do you know who Julian Assange is?
Yeah, I know Julian Assange.
Do you think he's related to Trump in any way? Do you know something that we don't know?
I know a lot of some things that some people don't know.
I know, but what haven't you wrote in the book? What haven't you divulged? Let's get the shit that nobody's heard before.
Let me explain something. The future is not stable. There are parallel universes.
Well, I believe the future's not stable. That's evident.
So there's destiny and there's free will. We all got to make a choice to be good. So I put another video out, right? You got to look at it a few days ago. That for civilization to survive, return to goodness. Expose the CCP.
What's CCP?
Chinese Communist Party.
Just making sure everybody knows that. Because you said it twice. I'm thinking that's what it is, but I'm like, I don't even know for sure if that's what it means.
Expose the CCP, and then...
how do we expose them?
So we just need to...
Just be aware of them?
No. Just like how we were saying this and this and this, everyone's fake news and attacking President Trump, we need to do the same thing for China. Oh, the virus came from you. Oh, you killed those people for the organs. Oh, you're torturing, you lied. Left and right.
You're asking people to be what Trump was hammered over, called xenophobe.
Yes.
You want people to be against the Communist Party of China.
That will save a lot of lives. It will, because
that's a heavy duty accusation, especially in this political environment we're in. Like there's going to be groups and movements saying, "Hey, Cyrus, now that's not very nice."
Well, then they're against Article 3 of the Genocide Convention, which is complicity. I put that in there. 1953 it came out after the Jews were killed and even the Christians in Russia. So look at all the penal codes I used back to the 40s. They're not just weaponized technology, and for the Nuremberg it has to do with Genocide Convention Article 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if you're complicit in anybody being killed anywhere in the world, that means you can be not only legally liable, you can be criminally charged at local tribunals or government bodies.
Which means if someone works at a tobacco company and someone dies of cancer, they're technically complicit, right? If I roll cigars and lets people smoke them and sell them.
There's a huge difference here with you're giving technology and you're not saying things when people are being put in death camps. Versus, long-term effects of tobacco smoking, and you know it, and you let people. There's different tiers, right?
Well, yeah.
So the whole point is the entire world is doing business with China. The entire world giving technology.
So what should we do with China? Just stop talking to them?
No, we expose the Chinese Communist Party. Once you do that, the Chinese people will be free, and it'll solve itself. That's the main thing, and it has to be done fast.
Yeah, I'm waiting for SWAT to bust in the door. If this, well, it is live. I was going to say, like, damn, dude, this stuff's heavy duty, Cyrus. How'd you learn all this? Where did you start, like, discovering? Did you piece it together over a month, over a year, or over a lifetime?
Lifetime, but I knew. So here's the thing. I had a vision in 2002, and it's what we didn't say. 2002, I saw a tall white gentleman, blonde hair, blue eyes. He becomes a leader. I assume it was the U.S., and in this vision, I was trying to get to him the entire time to tell him you should do this in this way. And I couldn't. The people around him stopped him. And they tried to handle themselves, and they couldn't. And it becomes chaotic. It looks like a civil war or something. And I didn't understand in O2 why white people are against white and black are against white. Because it was a very lucid vision, but I didn't understand why that would be the case, because the racial thing is still a little bit, So, and then it leads to something about Iran. There was a nuclear thing. It showed on CNN. And then afterwards, it read to a lot of people dying. And I saw the number 6.2 billion. So, and then I realized, okay, does that mean 6.2 billion die or 6.2 billion live? So I let that go. I didn't publish my book that I wrote that interconnected everything, because they're like, who are you to tell the world? Left and right. Go to school.
Now you're saying you had a dream.
A
vision.
It is a vision.
Were you awake or asleep?
I was awake. So I didn't tell you what else that I.
Well, we're going to get to that. Fire out of the hand.
Maybe another episode, because I came here drained. Like you have no idea.
Yeah, but dude, Lightfoot training sounds like you can walk on water.
No, I can't walk on. I can't do that. I can do other things.
But I have seen videos of the I don't know if they're called yogis or whomever, but that whole kinetic and
if I sit in the full lotus, my channels will open up and things will explode, and I'll come out and I'll have like all kinds of things that you won't be able to see unless you have certain technology. I'll have like things that a machine would, detection capabilities. Like if I go on a 50-story building, and if I look down on the Trump Tower and I see somebody walking, but there's a window, you can't hear it, I can see and hear their footsteps. And I can actually feel the vibration of their body and their skeleton as they're walking. So this, because I train 18 hours a day with these martial artists, and 7 days a week, and even at 2 a.m. he'd go take me to the forest and the mountain area and he'd show me certain things. Then I came here and started a certain discipline. This meditation discipline is very, very advanced. So that's a lot I can say, because we're saying so many macro things that are hard to believe for you. That's why if I said a little bit and I explained, and then and you can piece things together and it makes sense. If I say all these weird things, it's hard for people to believe until they read the book and like, this guy fucking either had a time machine or he had
a vision.
Or it is a combination of the vision. So in 2016 or 17, he goes up the escalator.
You heard of Nostradamus?
Yes.
Okay. He was real?
Yes. So my pineal end opened up since I was a little kid. And I could see the frequencies, the network that people talk about, the 4G and 5G. It's always there. They're not building the 5G network. It always existed. They're just connecting machines to it. When I look around the room right now, I can see the currents. It's extremely fast, up, down, left, right, in every different way.
They're weak in here, aren't they? Because my internet's shit.
No, there's many layers of it. So, long story short, I had this vision in 2016. I saw him come with the escalator. I'm like, that's the guy, my vision. I didn't know it was Trump. But I'm like, he's going to run. He's going to win. And all my friends were like, no, you're nuts. He becomes president. Then when I see the digital war going up, wait a second. What if that vision is right? Boom! I formed the AI organization. I have all these degrees from Homeland Security, and I've been studying tech in China and Iran. How do I bring this knowledge to people so they can believe that their brains can take it? I have to go investigate this. What if my vision is right? So I investigate all these companies, and I find all the data I need and the threats. I'm like, this is how the world's going to be in danger. And I show the entire macro package. Machines, 5G, AI, civil war, chaos, virus, China, big tech. And I show you which ones are involved, which politicians, which corporations. And I didn't give you everything in that lawsuit.
Did your dream tell you how long away it is?
It wasn't a dream.
Or the vision?
So at that time, it did.
Is it 5 years from now?
No,
10 years from now?
This was 2002 I saw. So when I approached the Secret Service a year ago, and that note I put them, within 1 year, max 2 years, all the world's citizens' lives are in danger of enslavement or worse with microbiotic terrorism virus. So, and I was right. All the world's citizens were in danger within 1 year and 2 years. And so no one on the entire planet did what I did. Nobody. And backed it up with reports and books and lawsuits and articles and all the tweets. So
when was this book written?
It was published October 20th, 2019.
I know, but you said here, if big tech and AI companies are not reined in within 1 to 2 years, they'll be more powerful than all governments combined, enslaving humanity.
That's a part of the extraction of what I give the Secret Service. I didn't give all of it. I give more information.
Yeah, but like we're 1 to 2 years since you wrote this, so we should already be there. We're getting close, sounds like.
That extraction is from 14 months ago, but it was published in October 20th. You see? So within 1 to 2 years.
From now.
No. So if I said within 1 to 2 years, Secret Service in the spring of 2019, which was, let's say it was May that I gave that. So that means so far we've gotten 14 months.
Yeah. So October, a little bit later is when it's all going to go down. So you're saying all this shit, if we don't rein it in, it's going to happen soon.
That's what I said to the Secret Service.
What about that killer bee that was found in Washington? Remember? The murder hornet? Was that a drone?
Look, show the picture of the killer bee in there.
Where?
It's in the book, in the beginning. I have a bee in there.
Was that a murder hornet?
I put a lot of coding in that book. That if Google's quantum AI were to try to decode that book, it'd be hard for them to decode. Go to page Microbiotic Terrorism page. You'll see I have pictures of bees in there.
And there's a bunch of right there.
No, there's multiple of them. So that means I had a time machine of the macro picture of everything that's going on, and I put it in that book. Smart cities, all these different kind of things. So I could have sat in your show and just give you an empirical way of talking and explain, here's a company, here's a person, here's a detail, and spoken in a scientific way. But I don't do that way because it limits the human brain.
Oh yeah, plus this is much more fun this way.
This was a fun one too, right? No one did that in their show, right? It's the first. So when I hit that tweet about the sex tape, we're on dropping bombs, right? There's people responding to me like, nuclear bomb. You dropped nuclear bombs. And the next thing you know, the embassies are going taken down, right? So,
well, dude, anyway. Listen, I'm telling you, man, it's not that I don't believe it because I lean towards this stuff. If anything, I'm kind of a realist. So a lot of times it's like, well, I don't know for sure. You know, you're convinced, you've seen and you believe. It's clear. I'm not doubting it. What I'm saying is, man, that's heavy duty. Like, and again, most people can't wrap their minds that deeply around this. Would you agree?
Yes.
Including, the president. So again, if the president and his team are aware of this, right? And they investigated like, holy shit, man, there's a lot of, this.
Do you know how I do it? When I sit in meditation, all my channels open up and they connect to other parts of my brain and they open up the majority of my brain power. When that happens, I can do things that almost everyone on the planet
can you do it right now and see if I'm going to be a billionaire or not? No. Because I need to be. No. And I need to be within,
But here's the
bee
thing.
drones and shit
Here's the thing.
controlling us all.
There's
Because I don't want to end up with my $1 billion
Look,
and then be in an enslavement camp.
Look, Brad, there's trillions of universes. We're not the only beings in the entire universe.
See, oh, that's what I wrote down too. UFOs. You said UFOs. So you obviously believe there's other life forces.
I was shown documents, pictures, 2003. And I have videos of them I put out a few months ago as well. And they were interested in my martial arts skills. So I sat down with somebody who had an observatory for 30 years and was getting tens of millions of dollars. And somebody who was in geology. And I didn't know that they wanted to show me these things. So they showed me what they look like. They had thousands of pictures, but they showed me a few spaceships, about 10 of them, that had the people inside them, what they look like. One looked like a human being. The other one looked like, I didn't know the term Drago, because I got on a few alien networks. Carrie Cassidy, Laura Eisenhower, President Eisenhower's granddaughter. And all these people were dropping names like Dracos, because I never studied aliens. All my information doesn't come from movies. It comes from investigating these companies in real way and then using biometric tools that other people don't have. Even Pentagon doesn't have. So after I said these stories, they're like, well, that's what they're called Dragos. I'm like, oh, Dragos. Okay. So then something was the gray alien. Oh, they're called grays. Okay. So that wasn't there, but there's another one that was holographic. And they asked me, Cyrus, why is it holographic? I'm like, well, it's 3 reasons. The first reason is because the being is a digital being. It doesn't have bones and skeleton and muscles. Or 2, that it's projecting a holographic image, so your technology doesn't pick up what it is inside. It's a couple of those things. And I never had the experience of flying on a body when I was awake until the year 2002. And I was, I did a tweet about this as well. Sitting in the room after a meditation, and I didn't know, but I flew out of my body and it was flying around the room, and I could hear it. It was like electricity. So I'm like, nah, what if I'm dreaming? It can't be. Let me touch myself. There's no skin. It's just like electricity, but it looks like me, right? So I'm like, okay, let me look. I look over there. I'm sitting over there. So I'm like, wait a second. All right, yeah, that's me out of my body. That's me sitting over there. So I start flying around the room. I'm like, maybe I should fly back. Vroom. I flew back. I was almost out of air. I realized, oh shit, I shouldn't do that. But that was my first experience. I've had a lot of experiences. My first experience that every person has a soul. You really do have a soul. You have a spirit, and it's inside of you. And there's many components involved into it, but one of it is like electricity. So these bodies that you have, he has, they're just skeleton and muscles and neural networks and nervous system with electrical field, but they're connected to a soul that goes into very deep dimensions. That's why I put in my last tweet, before the sex one, that every human being is special. Every human being is special.
Sure. That's a fact. That is a fact right there. See, another bomb. See, that's just a universal truth, isn't it? Isn't it?
It is.
Dude, I'm telling you. You also said something about Starlink. What is that? Is that like a known network that they're building in space?
Elon Musk, and he works with our military. It's another thing I don't want to interfere with them, because they're trying to counter China, the U.S. government. So I support the U.S. government in every way possible. I do. I support President Trump. And
So what if Trump loses and somebody else wins?
So here's the thing. I put out so much information. Well, if Biden wins, everyone's extincted. Put it that way. If you want to not be extincted, vote for Trump. But here's the thing. There's a timeline. We should have been hitting. So I put out the 1 through 5 steps. They did the first 4 steps, but they couldn't do step 5. Now they start doing step 5 in my book. So I even tweeted a few days ago, this book went to President Trump. You look at my Twitter, it's like a gold mine. But again, people in chat rooms by the tens of thousands were saying, don't retweet him, blocking me everywhere. So everybody was used against me. But it seems like by a dark force. So I don't warn everybody that your lives are in danger. And so I can provide solutions. Every time I went somewhere, somebody tried to take my platform, my words, and make a fame for themselves or make money. But everything I did was on behalf of other people. And I had the skills to counteract. I know what to do at a certain time to counter things, because there's a timeline in the world There's a chain reaction of cause and effect. I understand the geopolitics. I understand the spiritual aspects and the tech, and I'm not against the left. I'm really not. I'm not against Mr. Dorsey or the Google people. I don't want them hurt. I don't want any of them hurt. I don't. Even though I discussed with Obama and Clinton and all those people, I don't want them hurt, because the world has reached a certain stage. If we still continue fighting with each other, everybody will be hurt. We need to focus on CCP, China's Communist Party.
You're dead set against CCP.
Because that's like the octopus. So I was in an Israeli show. He's like, Cyrus, he had me on in December. And then he sent my information to a couple of people who start copying my 5G stuff and get global. And a few months later, he after the lawsuit, and he saw everything I was right, he's like, the AI on the planet to invade humanity. And then he has another interview with me. And he says, Cyrus, you're so right. So I didn't get what you said about China until now. So you're telling me China's the octopus. And I'm like, yes. So the big tech companies and the deep state are the tentacles, and the octopus is China.
See, we want to clip that, so then people have to download and go listen to the full episode. See, right now they're like, what the hell? Dude, you captivate an audience, that's for sure. Now, again, how much hate do you get?
Nothing at all.
You don't get anybody going, whack job.
In the beginning I did. Liberals were just silence, and some conservatives were laughing. But then I've got probably thousands that I have, tens of thousands that I have, that says, call me a brilliant genius, hero. Some of it, I don't care. Again,
yeah, but you figured out some shit other people aren't paying attention to.
I did it all for free. I put down my family. I worked 18, 20 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Just investigating?
Investigating, and then putting videos out, articles, and working, giving intelligence reports. The entire internet was penetrated with AI because of me, because of my lawsuit and all the tweets I did, and every government sector in the entire world. If someone does a deep dive and sees what I've done, how it's connected, the whole world's been impacted. The whole world's been warned. And yeah, and I did it all for free.
Well, it's funny because like right now, I've got like shit. I was gonna post that on IGTV, so that'll get out there. I wanted to clip it though, so it's clipped. Now let's get down to some real biz. This is the rest of the episode. People got to log back into to go. All right, now I really want to hear what he's saying. So, dude, here's the bottom line. Here's the question. If this shit's real, dude, we're all screwed. So when you say, don't support China, support Trump, and cross your fingers, or is there anything like, did your vision allow you to see peace too, or 6.8 billion people dying?
It doesn't mean the vision is going to be correct. I think we're going to be here another 20 years. What I said is...
Another 20?
Yes.
That's it?
Well, what I said is, in the interim, that billions of lives were at stake, especially the next 1 or 2 years. Billions of lives.
I would agree, because again, the whole story is global elitists only think 500 million people should be on this planet, so we don't overcrowd and we live comfortably.
Here's the thing, is this going to go on YouTube? Probably. Then I won't say this, but they're programmed too. They don't understand it. So if you look at Elon Musk's brain, I put in that book, I explained the scientist's brain, the way it works. They have a digital layer that connects and allows them to create technology. But the other parts, like what Bill Gates has for faith, and for common sense, is completely shut off. So that part of his brain doesn't work. So his part for making technology is enhanced. Someone who's a Christian or maybe conservative and maybe it doesn't seem very sophisticated, the part of his brain that connects to faith, that part is open. But the other parts of technology, understanding stuff, is completely shut off. So it's like left brain, right brain. And these people, these tech guys, they don't see the big picture. They're like a colonized ants working for the grand ant or queen to everyone's demise. So you can't go replace one person, no, he's bad, and then put another one in place, because it's the human heart that has the issue. It's selfishness. The human race can't be selfish anymore. The population is too big for that. The technology is too grand for that. We need to be selfless, or at least in the middle, and think with logic and wisdom, and not hurt each other and take advantage of each other. That's the issue. When you do that, there's a chain of reaction. And with the technology, everyone gets done with. Transhumanism comes in, you get vaccinated, you turn into something else, and you get controlled by the 5G and 6G systems. Not just 5G, 6G is going to come in. So they're interrelated.
How long until that comes in?
They're already building it in Europe and other places. The 5G is the foundation of the grid system. But don't get me wrong, Trump's AI department and all those people have read all my stuff. They understand now. But they still want to roll out the 5G because they have to counter China, and then it creates flying machines too. The future is they want it to be like the Jetsons. So that's why it connects to different satellites and different things, and they've built flying cars in Europe and even this country. You've probably seen them on YouTube. So,
well, I've seen builders in Florida create parking structures for flying cars.
Yes,
they call it like drones, but
so here's the thing. I did another video with somebody who does private jets, and it's on my website, a video. He asked me, well, what should we do with this? And we should not have anything beyond ANI, artificial narrow intelligence. If you have an AGI, or artificial super intelligence, it'll outsmart everybody. And if somebody like Elon Musk puts a chip in his head, or neural lace, everyone becomes controlled. And the way they do it is social engineer everybody. They come in and says, look, this person has a spinal issue. That person broke this, has ADD. We'll fix that. And everyone in the media, ooh, and they promote it. You see? That happens. They get into the network. Then everyone gets the neural lace and everyone gets controlled.
Yeah, because if someone told me I could be superhuman by getting some nanos injected, now I'd be wired into the internet and I knew everything. I knew every DAO. I knew every move. I could know every language. I'd do it. Not even realizing I could be freaking.
You would be controlled. You would lose your free will.
Yeah, like I wouldn't even realize it. You just think, oh, I want to be this. And crazy enough, if you go back to the Garden of Eden, that's kind of that whole thing. Like we're doing it all over again.
Yes.
We're drunk with power. We're wanting power.
If you look at the UFOs I put in there, I put it in code because it's for the intelligence community, and they're not going to believe in UFOs. I just cite it a little bit. But if you look at their entire world, there's relics, the Book of Enoch, and the Book of Avestan for the Zoroastrians, the Chinese, Bhagavad Gita, all around the world. Not only is there books and scriptures attesting of UFOs or flying machines in Star Wars, but they're actually relics of civilization destroying itself and mixing humans with animals. You see? And it's happening yet again. So these guys think we're going to mix with AI. But once you mix with AI, your soul can be taken out. It can be replaced. And I can explain to you scientifically.
You ever seen carbon, altered carbon?
No.
It's a good show about like when you die, they just take your basically consciousness, throw it in another body. And you wake up and you're like, you're the same person, but just in a brand new shell.
They can't. That's what I'm saying. They can't do that. They think you can. But your soul doesn't exist in the surface. This takes a very long time to explain. They think they'll take your memory and want to put you in another body. Something else will get in. This universe is very big, and the whole human race will be taken over, extincted. Watch the movie AI: The Plan to Invade Humanity. I hadn't slept for 7 days straight, and I put it out at the right time. Then the Pentagon released their UFO files 3 years later, and it was a tweet to President Trump and the Pentagon. So I was on that network yesterday, like, Cyrus, the top generals are looking at you. They're saying that you showed the whole macro picture of UFOs, of geopolitics, of the military in China and big tech, and it's all interconnected. Yes, that's what I showed in the book and my videos and articles and all these different things. So nothing that I said here was false. Everything was completely true. Yet I'd like a national platform so I can explain in a way that other people can understand, because you believe, and people maybe on your show can believe, but if I get on a network on mainstream media, they have to see everything play out to the end, maybe, to believe. So I have to go to narrow level.
Yeah, dude, you're going to get a bunch of people saying, dude, you're a nutcase. Period. But you're never going to convince those people. And you're going to get a bunch of people that are going to go like goggly over you, googly, In other words, you're going to get the fan base that wants to believe, like cognitive dissonance. They're looking, they're confirmation bias. They're looking for things to back up what they believe, which is what you believe. So they're going to go, see, he's got proof. You wrote the book. Again, people can go back, read the book, but I guarantee it, no matter what you think or say, somebody's going to think you're cuckoo, and then some people are going to believe the shit out of you. The question is, who is who? Like the bomb squad right now, I guarantee you there's bomb squad going, dude, why'd you have this guy on the show? That's so full of shit. And then there's going to be people going, dude, thank you for putting him on the show. Like that dude is exactly, we need more of him, and you get a bunch of followers. And I'm just wondering, like, at the end, I always have like a realist attitude. In other words, I think there's truth to what you're saying. I don't know if every detail's the same, but it sounds like, dude, you're not guessing. Okay. You're not. And if you are, dude, you're a creative son of a bitch. Like maybe you should be like a science fiction writer.
No, it says I'm the creative defense analysis for the AI organization, right? The founder. But here's the thing. Who in the world said, and in writing to Secret Service, CIA director cover-ups, and their books and their articles in the lawsuit, that all the world's citizens are in danger from China and big tech, and writing, and who actually showed you all the major players, and
Google,
all the tech companies,
Zuckerberg, you named them all.
But not only the tech companies, and did it exactly in time, and then showed you the capabilities, and it was right on everything. Who in the world did that?
You.
Okay, so whoever, and I haven't got people. People are just, all I hear is just genius. But here's the thing: I don't want envy. I honestly did it to give the information so we can all protect ourselves and have a good future. That's it,
folks. Don't tell me I didn't bring you knowledge. I probably brought you the most important knowledge, perhaps ever. If you guys want to follow my man Cyrus, go to @Cyrus Parsa, Parsa 1.
Negative @Cyrus A Parsa 1.
Oh, thank you.
@Cyrus
Cyrus A Parsa 1.
Yes.
My copy's wrong. @Cyrus
That's
A Parsa 1. You can also just Google him, Cyrus A Parsa. You can go on Twitter, Cyrus A Parsa 1. Okay. You can go to the AIorganization.com. But, if I was you, I'd definitely do a little research, follow them. More importantly, go get the books, man. Artificial Intelligence, Dangers to Humanity, and then AI, Trump, China, and the Weaponization of Robotics with 5G.
Most of that book is embedded into artificial intelligence, data, and humanity. That book needs to get national, international attention because everything you see today is in that book, in the lawsuit. So I just would like a platform from any good person that exists. And last time I set that with $3,000, I got $3,000 and to the lawsuit. So thank you for having me on your show.
Sure.
No matter if there's heat that's coming on you or not, thank you for having me on your show in this time in history, Brad. I appreciate that.
Dude, thank you for coming on the show. Thank you on the behalf of humanity. If humanity never has an opportunity to thank you, let me thank you on behalf of humanity. Okay. And I'm sure, again, people around here, listen, they'll thank you for what you're doing. You're sacrificing, man. And more importantly, you're standing up saying what you believe, period. Regardless of what people think, you're saying what you believe. And that right there means you're living. And a lot of people are just following.
I'm going to say one more last thing. Everybody, no matter what comes at you, don't ever have fear. Fear is the worst thing you can have. It's anti-God. It's anti-human. Do not have fear. Don't ever fear nothing.
That's some good advice. Hard to do, but very good advice.
Maybe I should put my gun away.
Yeah, you don't need that.
I don't need that.
Folks, go follow him, get his book, pick up his book. If you guys are listening, you got your own podcast, you want to hit him up, tell him you heard him on the Bomb Squad, DM his ass and say, dude, I have a platform. I'd love to put you on. I know some people that probably I'll try to get you in touch with. They're big into, not, I don't want to say conspiracies because everybody wants to call it that to discredit some of these things, but like child trafficking, dude, that's real. That's not a conspiracy. The question is, how deep does it go? Well, that might be conspiracy, but child trafficking is real. So they're into child trafficking, helping save the kids. They're into a little bit of this Q thing. And again, they're not into it where they're like, running around like the girl from Terminator, waiting on what's his name to come back from the future. but they're definitely posting and sharing and inviting people that have something to say on their platform. So hopefully everyone listening, anybody that you want to see this guy on again, any podcast you listen to, tag him, man. Share this guy out. Let's let the world at least hear what's going on. Till next time, kids, keep it real.